Hey there, friends. Today we're going to be talking about companion planting. Specifically, we're going to talk about three friends that love hanging out with one another, and that's going to be tomato, basil, and sweet peppers. Come plant with me. Companion planting. What is it, right? Well, companion planting is simply just planting plants together that benefit mutually from one another. One doesn't take away from the other, and they actually thrive together. For instance, one plant may deter certain type of pests that another is constantly plagued by, and vice versa. Tomatoes and bell peppers are a perfect example of plants that can be planted together. But one thing to consider when planting them in a garden, whether it's a raised bed or a traditional garden, is that you want to make sure that you rotate them each season so they're not growing in the same exact area. So potentially you don't end up passing on pathogens in the soil to the next crop that you may be growing. One of the main benefits of planting peppers and tomatoes together is that you are maximizing yields from a small space, optimizing soil conditions, concentrating water and nutrient needs, and are attracting the same type of pollinators around. Also, something else to take in consideration when you're growing your pepper and your tomatoes together, make sure to space them out evenly so that they're not overcrowding one another, and then plus so that one doesn't cast a shade on the other, as both of these are full sun-loving plants. Another benefit of planting peppers and tomatoes together is that they actually benefit from the same type of soil. And they both like a well-drained, fertile, sandy loam with a soil pH of around 5.8 to about 7. Both plants being a part of the nightshade family allows them to actually grow together fairly well. But wait, there's more. And let's not forget our third member to add into the mix, basil. Basil and tomatoes are soulmates on and off the plate. The vibrant aromatic herb repels insects, specifically flies and hornworms, and it's believed to improve the overall yield as well. The strong aroma of basil planted in close proximity or in the same exact soil as tomatoes allows it to repel many of your different pests along with aphids as well. And this is a great time to show you this basil propagation that I propagated indoors off of the parent plant. I'm going to use this as a companion to go with the Better Boy tomatoes that I started from seeds here. Now, all I'm doing is poking a hole here in my gardening fabric. I'm going to place it right here. This row is dedicated to peppers, dedicated to tomatoes, and of course our basil. We've talked about the fact that one, basil is great to plant with tomatoes because its scent deters a lot of pests that might plague the tomato plant. But there are also benefits that comes with, move that soil around here, that comes with placing your tomato and your basil together for the basil plant as well, because the roots system inside of a tomato plant actually aids a lot in the hydration that comes from the basil. Let's see. All right. We're actually going to break this up just a little bit. Got a good root system going on there. We have two plants actually started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these two plants apart. We're going to space them out a little bit. So I'm just going to slowly kind of pull this away. Not trying to damage the roots. Let me see. There we go. There we go. Just gonna gingerly pull these apart. There we are. Now, sometimes what I like to do when breaking these roots apart is just kind of dunk it in water a little bit. But I forgot to do that, so here we are. There we are. All right, we got one of our better boys here. What I'm going to do is sprinkle a little bit of rooting hormone to ease that shock, as you guys know I like to do. Tap that in that hole there. And then I'm going to place this better boy tomato right in this hole. As you can see, I don't use gloves and such. I mean, gardening's all about getting one's hands dirty, right? If you ain't getting dirty, you ain't doing it right. That's what I've been told. So I got that better boy right down in there. We'll pop those leaves out so we get some nice soil coming through. There we are. Now, in case you're wondering what kind of soil, what are the soil requirements for your tomato, pepper, basil combination? Tomatoes prefer a little bit of a sandy loam. I kind of talked about the pH level earlier, so I'm not going to go over that again. But it likes a little bit of a sandy loam, kind of slightly acidic. This is actually a mixture of sandy loam and this soil mixture. But also have some leaves and straw mulch that I've added into it as well for moisture retention. And as you know, if you watch my previous videos, I like to bury my soaker holes so that the soil, we put a lot in there, so that the soil is nice and moist for my plants. Now let's take this basil out and take a look at this root system here. I'm just going to ease it out of there. Now remember, when you're using these water propagations, the roots are going to be soft because they've grown in water, and the shock of going to soil may be harmful to the plant, may shock the plant. Your roots, when you're propagating in soil, are going to be sturdier, but this is where we're at. That's why we're adding the root hormone to kind of to help out. And then plus, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just trim some of these roots off here at the bottom, kind of stimulate them to stretch out and grow. There we are. So now we trim those roots up. Combination of the rooting hormone, it will be good to go. So we'll go ahead and place this down in the soil in our hole. Mix in our soil. Wish you guys could smell it. Basil's already smelling amazing. And we got it right here by our Better Boy plant. I'm gonna just throw these roots in my compost, and all of this is done right here by my in-ground compost bin. This is actually just a mixture of a little bit of ash, a little bit of food scraps, and of course hay and leaves. And we got a really strong earthworm presence and some red wigglers in there. If you want to see that video, you can check out this video. I'll put it right here. This video right here, this is how I built the system. But also, if you want to check out this video here, my buddy over at Urban Harvest, he made an even better in-ground system. So definitely check out those videos when you get a chance if you're thinking about adding in-ground compost. All right, and now all we have to do is add our second Better Boy into the ground. Now we want to stretch these out a little bit, give them a little room. As you can see, I don't have any more peppers to add into the ground here, but this row has 2 pepper plants growing in it already. Let's see if we can cut into that fabric. This is some strong fabric. And the reason why I like placing this fabric down, it keeps pests from laying eggs, not seeds, laying eggs in your soil, because that's how a lot of your plants can get infested. It's actually the eggs planted right in the soil. Sprinkle there. Oh, it's extra down in there. I put on the other plant. And then we're going to get this better boy here. We're going to place her down in the soil too. Look at that. Put a little bit of pressure. And c'est bon. She is good. There we go. All right, so now with our companion plants, we have our tomatoes growing over here, growing over here. They are a little bit closer than they should be, but they're right in between. This basil plant is right in between. If they start to stretch out and vine out, I'm going to heavily prune this tomato plant so it doesn't grow up too tall. All right, guys, so today we talked about the surprising benefits that comes from companion planting basil, tomatoes, and peppers together. We even actually got to witness me doing a little bit of companion planting today with the water propagated basil and the seed sown Better Boy tomatoes. If you find this information beneficial or helpful, consider hitting the like button or maybe even sending to a friend. This has been Urban Gardening with Gray. Enjoy life, enjoy family, and enjoy your garden. Thanks for watching, guys.